Welcome to today's video on the unemployment benefits cliff in the UK. We'll explore why, after years of paying national insurance, many people still receive little to no help when they lose their job. We'll move from contribution-based benefits to means-tested benefits, examine the controversial taper rate, and cover practical steps to mitigate risk. Finally, we'll highlight why private income protection can be essential. Let's begin. This content is educational and general in nature. It should not be treated as financial, legal, or tax advice. Policies and thresholds can change. Always check the latest official UK government guidance and consider speaking to a qualified advisor or debt charity if you need personal advice. Here is our agenda. First, we will cover the 6-month period of contribution-based support. Next, we will examine the shift to means-tested benefits and the 55% taper. Then, we will lay out immediate actions. After that, we will discuss housing stability and support for mortgage interest. Then, we will cover private income protection as a mitigation strategy. Finally, we will summarize and include a short quiz. Contribution-based support like new Style Jobseekers Allowance relies on past national insurance contributions. It can feel like a direct return on taxes paid. However, it is strictly time-limited, typically expiring after roughly 6 months. Consequently, you must plan for the transition early. During this period, you should build a crisis budget, accelerate job search activities, and take steps to protect your housing. The timeline diagram shows week 0 at job loss, benefits beginning after the first month, a fixed period of approximately 26 weeks, and then expiration. When contribution-based support ends, many move to universal credit, which is means-tested. Means test considers the entire household, including a partner's income and any savings. Above a work allowance, universal credit is reduced at a taper rate of approximately 55 pence for every pound earned. In many cases, a partner earning a typical salary can cause universal credit entitlement to reduce to 0. This often leaves households without meaningful support for mortgage payments and essential bills, despite many years of contributions. This comparison highlights the differences. Contribution-based benefits are determined by the individual's national insurance record and are time-limited, typically around 6 months. They are not affected by a partner's current income. Conversely, means-tested benefits, such as universal credit, evaluate the entire household. They continue indefinitely in principle, but are reduced by a taper rate. Savings and a partner's income are crucial factors. In many scenarios, a partner on a modest salary leads to 0 universal credit entitlement. This diagram visualizes a sample crisis budget allocation during unemployment. 40% is allocated to housing costs to prioritize keeping a roof overhead. 20% goes to utilities and council tax, which are essential and can impact credit or legal obligations. 15% is assigned to food. 10% covers mandatory minimum debt payments to avoid default. Another 10% is for transport to sustain job search activities. Finally, 5% is held as a small buffer for essential or unexpected costs. The precise allocations will vary by household. The point is to prioritize housing and essentials first. Here are the immediate steps. First, build a crisis budget immediately and use recognized benefit calculators such as Turn2 US or entitled Kaido to understand potential support. Second, reduce discretionary expenses quickly by canceling non-essential services and renegotiating bills. Third, protect your housing by contacting your lender early to discuss temporary forbearance or payment holidays. Fourth, learn about support for mortgage interest, which is an interest-only loan available under specific conditions. Review official guidance carefully because the rules are complex and can change. Fifth, intensify your job search by focusing on targeted, high-quality applications supported by networking and referrals. Sixth, track your finances and job search activities weekly to maintain momentum and measure progress. This table summarizes support for mortgage interest. It is a government loan, not a grant, and it covers eligible mortgage interest rather than capital repayments. Eligibility is tied to certain means-tested benefits and subject to conditions, so you must check current official rules. It only covers interest on eligible amounts, so you may need to arrange forbearance with your lender to manage capital payments. There can be a waiting period, and rules change, so verify current timelines. Because it is a loan secured on your property, it reduces future equity and should be considered carefully. Quiz time. The question is, under universal credit, What commonly reduces benefit entitlement for earnings above the work allowance? Option A, a 25% taper. Option B, a 55% taper. Option C, a fixed £100 deduction. Option D, no reduction until a £10,000 threshold. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section. The correct answer is B, a 55% taper. Above the work allowance, universal credit is reduced by approximately 55 pence for every pound earned. This taper is a key reason households with a working partner often receive reduced or zero entitlement. The key lesson is that the state is not a dependable long-term income replacement plan. Private income protection insurance can help replace a portion of income during sickness or injury, and in some cases there are unemployment-related features, although availability and coverage vary. When evaluating policies, compare the deferred period, payout percentage, exclusions, and the insurer's claims record. Integrate cover levels with your budget and emergency fund. Also review any employer benefits such as sick pay, redundancy packages, or employee assistance programs that could provide interim support. Here is a brief recap in a condensed format. The key risks include means testing that can eliminate support when a partner earns a modest wage. The critical window is the contribution-based period of around 6 months, which should be used to prepare. Prioritize housing by communicating with your lender early and exploring support for mortgage interest. Mitigation includes building a crisis budget, focusing the job search, and evaluating private income protection. Finally, consult resources like Turn2US, entitled DITO, debt charities such as Step Change, and official government guidance. This journey diagram outlines the path from job loss to stabilization. It starts with job loss, where emotions are typically anxious. Then, the individual claims contribution-based benefits and begins preparing a budget, moving toward being informed. When contribution-based support ends, the person applies for universal credit and undergoes a means test, which can feel pressured. The outcome may be some universal credit or zero. Next, housing options such as lender forbearance or support for mortgage interest are considered, reflecting a proactive stance. Finally, stabilization occurs either through securing a new job or receiving an insurance payout, leading to a more stable state. These are the key takeaways. Contribution-based support is short, and planning should begin immediately. Means testing is based on the entire household and can reduce universal credit to zero. Prioritize housing and essentials, considering support for mortgage interest and lender forbearance. Use calculators to understand entitlements, reduce expenses quickly, and conduct a targeted job search. Evaluate private income protection as a buffer against income shocks. To summarize, use the 6-month contribution-based window as a preparation runway. The universal credit means test and the 55% taper can quickly eliminate entitlement for households with a working partner. Mitigate these risks by building a crisis budget, engaging with your lender, reviewing support for mortgage interest, and focusing your job search. Future-proof your finances by considering private income protection where appropriate. Always verify current rules with official sources and seek tailored advice if needed. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe for more practical guides. Share your questions or experiences in the comments because your story could help others.